Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Hotline 21 on CAN TV. I'm Jenny Brandhorst, and I'm here with Jerilynn Elliott. We represent Beacon Therapeutic, and Beacon Therapeutic is a nonprofit organization that has been around since 1968. And Beacon has 3 core programs, and I'm going to put some information up about Beacon in just a second, but we have 3 core programs. We have 2 therapeutic day schools, an elementary and a junior and senior high school. We have homeless outreach services, and we also have mental health outpatient services. So a little bit about Beacon and our 4 locations. We have our administrative office, and our homeless outpatient services are at on Southwestern. We've got our Calumet Park High School and Junior High School, which is where Jerilynn is from, in Cal Park. And we also have our elementary school, and that's called our Longwood campus, and that's on South Longwood Drive. And a little bit about our programs before we get underway here. Beacon has, like I said, therapeutic day schools. We have our shelter outreach services, our CHIPRA program, Early Head Start, Family Assertive Community Treatment, our family homes, projects for assistance in transition from homelessness, PATH, our little intensive outpatient program, our intensive outpatient program, and our mental health outpatient services. So as you can see, we've got a lot going on at Beacon Therapeutic, but for this particular episode, we are going to focus on our high school and junior high school and our vocational training program. And before we get started with that, Beacon is creating new endings to disadvantaged beginnings. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jerilynn Elliott. Jerilynn is our vocational developer at our Calumet Park location. Jerilynn, thank you for being a guest here this evening.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So without any further delay, Jerilynn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, this is my first year at the Cal Park campus. I'm in a new position, which is the vocational developer position. And so basically what I do is create partnerships with different businesses in the community and also with our students in order to get them prepared to transition from high school to employment or college or trade school or whatever it is that they decide to do once they graduate from our school.
Great. And you jumped the gun on me, Jerilynn. I want to know about your background first. What brought you to Cal Park? Because you just started here, so yes. you got a history here. Let's hear about that quick.
Well, actually, I received my bachelor's degree in psychology from Roosevelt University. I went to school in New Orleans for a few years and then transferred back here. I'm now currently getting my master's in school counseling, so I'll be finished with that next month. So I've worked in other schools for several years, and I just was looking for a different environment and looking for new opportunities and new people to work with, new experiences.
So you're in the right place at Calumet Park High School,
Absolutely.
Junior High School. Great. And so what made you want to become involved with Beacon's mission?
Well, seeing that the population that we work with, the underprivileged youth that we work with, and also with their families, I believe that they deserve the same opportunities as the next students in any school. So I believe between the educational services that we provide and the mental health services and also the social services, that once they graduate out of our program, they will be prepared for the quote-unquote real world or the different opportunities that the world is able to provide them.
That's great. And just for our viewers, a little history about Beacon's schools. What we're dealing with at the junior and senior high school at Cal Park is we're serving students who maybe have emotional or behavioral setbacks, maybe they have autism, dealing with different barriers. So Beacon is giving them services and resources that maybe their home school could not provide. Am I
Absolutely,
right on that?
yes.
Could you expand a little bit on what I'm saying here?
Well, a lot of our students, they, like you said, either deal with emotional disturbances, behavioral disturbances, and unfortunately, their schools may have felt that they weren't able to serve them or provide them with the services that they need in order for them to thrive. So they're then recommended to our school, and we provide them with individual services, including the mental health and the social services that they need, not only themselves but their families also. So we're able to give them the individual services that they're needing in order for them to thrive in school and graduate and move on to their next step.
And you're making a good point here, because while they're here at Beacon, they're learning. They have access to a curriculum that I know Cal Park has worked very, very diligently on getting copyrighted, which we're very proud of that. So great job, Cal Park. And so within the services, we're focusing today on the vocational program. And so let's get into the meat of this program, and tell me the difference between the vocational program and STEP and everything. I want to hear it all.
Well, we offer a vocational training program within our school, and we actually offer two different programs. We offer the vocational training program within Beacon, and then we also offer the DOORS program, the STEP program, the secondary transitional experience program, and this is offered through the state of Illinois through the DOORS Department of Rehabilitative Services.
Gotcha.
And so we offer both of these programs. What happens is the students are referred by their teachers. Once they turn 16, if they're eligible, they are referred by their students and referred by their teachers. I'm sorry. And so what they do is they go on a 2-week evaluation.
Okay.
So between the teachers, the therapists, the behaviorists in our school, and also our vocational coordinator, they have a very strenuous evaluation, which is based on their attendance. They have to have 85% attendance. They also have to have good behavior, of course, and they also have to be passing all their classes in order for them to be eligible for our vocational program.
So what's I just want to interject quickly. The strenuous evaluation, what does that entail? What's that?
Well, all of those people, their individual teacher, our vocational coordinator, the behaviorist, and the therapist, they basically have this individual. It's actually a written evaluation, and every day, not only do the students have to evaluate themselves on their behavior and their progress, but all of these people also play a role in this evaluation. And after the 2 weeks, they meet up, and amongst these individuals, they decide whether the student is ready to become a part of our vocational training program.
Okay.
And
so not every student can get into this. I mean, there's a criteria.
Yes, there's absolutely a criteria.
Okay, tell me more about this criteria. You're talking about it, but I want to get more into this criteria.
Well, as they begin with our vocational development program, every quarter they're reevaluated. There's 4 different levels to our program. The first level is when they actually work on campus. So they work on campus with different
on campus, you mean at the high school?
At the high school,
okay.
Yes. And they work in several different areas. They work in the computer lab. They work in the cafeteria. They work with the custodial staff. They also work in the main office. And they're evaluated every quarter. And this is with on-the-job training, where I'm following them basically daily, just to be there for them as a protective source, as a if they have any questions, if they run across any challenges. Not only are the other staff from Beacon available, for them, but that's my main job and my main goal, to make sure that they succeed in that first level. So after they evaluated, after the first 10 weeks approximately, then they're able to move to the next step if they're eligible, which is still working on campus, but they have less they're more independent. Okay. So I wouldn't be with them every day. I may check on them a couple of times a week, or maybe once a day, instead of constantly being with them, just to make sure that they're still on task, that they're still progressing. And so after they're evaluated again, then they're able to move to our off-campus positions. So we have several organizations that we work with in the community where the students are able to go off campus and work during the school day. And then so they'll begin with me again, and I'll basically serve as their job coach, where I stay at the organization with them, or I stay at the with the employer with them. And not only do they have other people that are on the job that are helping them, they also have the employer, and then they also have myself. Wow. And so then once they get reevaluated again, once they move on, they get more and more independence. They have less and less job coaching, and this is providing them with the opportunities to be able to transition smoothly from high school to, as I explained before, whatever they decide to do as far as whether they decide to go to a junior college or trade school or university or go straight into employment, they're able to make that transition smoothly because they are prepared with the experience that we've provided with them at Beacon.
So they got more options by going through this
they
program.
Have a lot of options. Yes, absolutely.
They've got a lot of keys to open the doors with this vocational training. Now you just spewed a lot of information at me and these viewers, and I'm thankful. And now I got some questions to throw back in your court. What age group are we talking about here? I mean, I know the high school, we're dealing with junior and senior high, but what age group?
Ages 16 through 22. So they're able to begin working at the age of 16. At the age of 16, they're eligible for our program. They're also eligible for the STEP program, which is offered through the state of Illinois through the Department of Rehabilitative Services. So at 16, they're eligible for either one of these programs. With the Department of Rehabilitative Services, they have their own process that they go through to see if the students are eligible for their program. They're not the same criteria as ours. They have, different things that they're looking for also. Along with the things that we're looking for, they have some extra, things that they're looking for.
What about how many people are usually in this program at a time? On average?
Well, throughout the school year, we usually have about 30 students.
That's a lot to keep in.
Yes, because we have students that are working outside of the school, and then we also have students that are working in different areas of the school daily, as far as being in the cafeteria and providing the breakfast and lunch for the students. And also we have students helping the main office as far as answering phones, filing papers, things of that nature. We have 2 custodians, and we also allow our students to work with the custodians. So they're, placed all around the school doing, regular, routine pickups. And then also we have students that work in the computer lab. So we have a lot of different areas available within the school and also outside of campus.
But they have their choice of what they want to do. Are they applying for these different, maybe I want to work in the cafeteria, or maybe I'm more tech savvy and I want to work in the computer lab?
And that comes with our transition assessments, which is something that we also take a part of. The transition assessment is a part of the IEP, which is the individualized education plan. And so within this plan for these students, they have a transition assessment where we basically sit down and ask them, what do they enjoy doing outside of school? What do they plan on doing once they graduate? Whether they plan on going away to school or gaining employment, as far as their independence, whether they plan on living when they graduate from school. And so after we gather up all of this information, then we use that information to help place them so that not only are they gaining professional experience, but they're also doing something that they enjoy.
Wonderful. And it seems to me this would be a good incentive.
Yes,
I mean, can you talk about the incentives?
Well, every day when I walk down the hallway, the kids say, Miss Elliott, where can I get a job? Where can I get a job? And so they know that, that they have certain rules and certain regulations that they have to abide by in order to even be eligible. So not only is good attendance important, but coming to school on time is very important. And participation in class assignments and turning homework in on time and passing all of your tests and being a vital positive part of the classroom. All of these things are entailed in the evaluation. So, and because the program is teacher recommended, the teacher first has to sign off on the recommendation before we can move at all. So they know that what they're up against, and they know that it's a joint effort, throughout the whole school to determine whether our students are ready for that task or not. Because it's a big task working and going to school, especially being in high school.
I hear you. And so, say my name is Sally, and I'm in class, and I'm in the STEP program or the vocational program, and I'm trying so hard to keep my grades up, but I'm falling just a little bit. What help is there for me to keep going? We ask that they always kind of let their teachers know if they're struggling, because struggling does not mean that they won't be a part of our program anymore. We all work together as a family to ensure that all of our students thrive in all areas. So whether it's maybe they work 1 hour instead of 2, and make sure that they go back to the classroom so that they can, complete any homework that they've done. Sometimes if they are supposed to be at work at 9 and they're in the middle of the test, we'll say, well, let's just change your hours to 10 o'clock. So, we make sure, because we understand, education is the
most important thing. But we also want them to be able to take advantage of this opportunity. So, we kind of bend the rules from time to time just to make sure that they're able to succeed in class. And we work with the teachers weekly. We go and talk to the teachers to make sure that the students are staying on top of their work and on top of their assignments and on top of their behavior also.
Well, not necessarily bending the rules, but being very accommodating.
Right.
I mean, that's key. I mean, if you're a student and you're being upfront and like, look, hey, I'm just being honest with you, I'm struggling a little bit.
Exactly.
That's commendable
Right.
to come forth and to say that. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
It really
and so,
does,
you know,
yeah.
and you know, maybe a few of us have been in this situation where you go to an employer, go to your boss and be like, hey, you know, I'm kind of struggling here a little bit. Maybe I need to take a course. Maybe I need to do that. And most employers are going to be, you know, cool
And
about it.
It's a very responsible move to begin with.
Exactly. And we're, like I said, here, let's call it how we see it. We're creating new endings to a disadvantaged beginnings, and we're doing that at Cal Park. You're seeing a lot of students who are really trying. Maybe they're down on their luck. Maybe they're having certain issues, and we're here to help them.
Exactly.
And you're doing that. And thank you for doing that, because it's not easy. I mean, I commend anybody who's working in any school situation, because I just don't think I'd have the patience. And you are doing it.
It's a positive challenge, because you definitely see the rewards. At the end of the day, you definitely see the rewards when we see our students gaining employment outside of the school through the actual organizations versus being paid through the state of Illinois or the DOORS program or our vocational training program. We actually have students that are gaining, you know, full-time employment outside of the school just by being able to go there and showing their daily work habits and showing how responsible and how professional they've become. And we have kids that are actually being offered jobs. So to see those rewards at the end of the day, not only is it good for us to keep our motivation up, but it's good for the kids too, and for some of the other students that haven't been able to be a part of the program yet. You know, it becomes motivating to see, you know, the other students moving ahead.
You deserve a high five. and everybody at Cal Park, high five to you. And you know what? Let's put some pictures up of some of the students, you know, and see, you know, we got a lot of success stories who are, you know, we got some great students. So let's talk some more about what are we doing to prep the students as far as getting ready to go on these job interviews and that kind of thing.
Well, not only are we sending these students out for these job interviews, but we're also doing things in the school. We're creating resume writing courses where the students are able to come down with me, and we are creating resumes for them and just showing them if they don't have any work experience, showing them how important it is to have a resume and what type of information, even basic information such as address, phone number, full name, professional email addresses. We're learning those type of things. We're also learning how to dress for success and how you dress when you're going to a job interview, how to dialogue with a potential employer, also mock interviews, so that they, you know, sometimes it's a struggle, even as adults, it's a struggle to sit across a table from someone and interview. So especially with these students that have never experienced this before, you know, it's a struggle. So we have mock interviews with the other students in the classroom, along with, you know, myself and some of our other staff, in order to help them prepare. So when they go out, they feel, you know, a bit more comfortable.
Do they feel that it's helpful? And do they give you feedback, like what's helpful, what's not?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times they ask what type of questions are they going to be asked on the interview. So just kind of knowing what they're going to be asked when they get there. And like I explained to them, a lot of times they're going to ask about scenario situations. What would you do if this happened, or what would you do if that happened? And it gives us an opportunity to talk about those things and talk about why, you know, you should choose to do this versus, you know, doing something else. And I've also helped some students fill out some applications. And a lot of times it's questions like that on applications, and they want to know, well, why wouldn't I just walk away? And it's like, well, you know, team player, and you have to work with your other, you know, team members. So they're learning a lot, not only with the, you know, with learning how to you know, work with other people, but also developing social skills and just daily living habits and empathy, you know, among themselves and their peers.
I think that's all of us.
Yeah.
Not just high school students, but all of us in the world. And you touched upon some key points, and And one in particular I want to focus on now is collaborations. And you say you're going out into the neighborhoods and the
Yes.
communities trying to build these collaborations with future partners who might employ our students or other
Right.
students. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, well, currently we have partnerships with the Calumet Park Recreational Center, the Calumet Park Police and Fire Department,
Wow.
the Calumet Park Senior Center. We also have worked with different hotels in the community, different small barber shops and things of that nature. So we've done a lot of different, walked in the pavement and, talked to employers about our vision and what we want to see happen with our students. And so we've had a lot of organizations and employers climb on board because they know that it's very important for us as adults to help our future, develop these same work habits that we've developed. So a lot of people have been on board. It's been a
Let's put some
success.
contact information up in case people want to become a partner. We'll give them the phone number at Cal Park. If you want to be a partner organization and help these students find employment, and you give back to the community and you're helping a student, it's a win-win. When you say,
Absolutely,
Jerilynn,
yes.
give us a call at the Calumet Park campus, 708-388-3183. You can ask for Jerilynn or Dr. Joan Gross or Carrie Patterson. And she's on the vocational team as
Carrie
well.
Patterson is the vocational coordinator. And Dr. Gross is our principal over at the school. And then myself, Jerilynn Elliott, I'm the vocational developer at our campus. So you can call and ask to speak to any of us, or you can call and say I was interested in giving a kid a job, and they'll know who to send you to.
Well, you gave us great call out to our current partners, and we are thankful for the partnerships because, again, it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the organization, and it's a win-win for our student to learn these skills and to get out into the workforce. Our time is running. I can talk to you forever. This has been very enlightening for me as well. Again, I'm Jenny Brandhorst. I'm filling in for Susan Reyna Guerrero, our CEO and president. And I'm with Jerilynn Elliott. She's our vocational developer at Calumet Park, our junior senior high school. It's a mouthful. And I really, before our time runs out, I really want to talk to you about the success of the program. And we talked a little bit before the show about success stories and that kind of thing. So if we could end on some positive notes here.
Yeah.
We've already had some positive stories, but
Well, recently we had I had a student that was working at a grocery store, and at first, of course, they were getting paid through our stipend program, and eventually, they said, well, come on, you've been working hard, and we want to give you an opportunity to work for us. So they actually began working for that organization while they were in high school, in our school, and after they graduated, they began working full-time. There's also a hotel in the community that did the same thing. They saw how hard our students were working and decided, hey, we can pay you a little bit more than the vocational program can. And so they would start working after school, and they would create their own hours, sign their own pay sheets. They were completely responsible for everything because they were no longer working through us. They were actually a part of that organization. So that was a very rewarding experience for them because they felt not only were they independently making their own money and providing for themselves, but also that gave us an opportunity to find another student to fill in their place. So we continually keep the opportunities open.
that's wonderful. And I think it's such a fulfilling experience, like you said. I'm getting good grades in school. I'm going to school. I'm attending regularly. I'm working. I'm making my own money.
Exactly.
There's a lot to be said for
There's
that.
a lot
What
of
do the students say about that?
Well, they feel like adults.
Good.
They feel like adults. They feel independent. They feel as if there's a reason behind them being here. The population that we work with, sometimes it's difficult to get that across. They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And so we're giving them an opportunity to start over again and show them that this is not, whatever happened in the past, that's not the say-so of your life.
And you have control. You have the
Yes,
control.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we are running a little short on time, and like I said, I've enjoyed speaking with you. I
Thank
hope you
you.
enjoyed being here. But let's leave our viewers in the audience with any final thoughts.
Well, our program is so important, and our program is very important because not only does it provide real world opportunities for our students, but it also provides an opportunity for our students to become prepared for life after high school.
Okay. Thank you. And I usually don't do this, but we're running out of time, but I'm going to take a call. Let's go for it. Hello, caller?
Yeah, my name is Jerome White. The young lady just answered my question I was going to pose as far as how do you track kids after high school. I was in prison for 26 years. I'll be 60 in February. One of the things that I saw a lot of kids, high school kids, coming into that system without a clue or understanding the consequences that they did. I'm wondering, is there any way that you could partner with the Department of Corrections as well? Because some of these kids coming back out into the neighborhood and they're going to interact. I don't know. I think I probably shouldn't have called.
No, that was good.
Well, no, that's a very important. We're
glad you called.
important partnership.
Please,
we have a lot of students actually that unfortunately have been a part of of the system, and so what we do is we work personally with those students, and we also work with their probation officers, parole officers if they have one, to make sure that that they are reinstituted into the community, and that they do not follow those same footsteps again. So we work with those students personally to try our hardest to make sure they provide them with vocational training and also with career opportunities in order to ensure that whatever they did to be put in that position doesn't happen twice.
Great answer. Great question, caller. We're grateful that you called in. And let's just put on some contact information because a ghost took our sign down here. So again, we're Beacon Therapeutic and we're located on the south side, but we operate citywide. And I'm going to also put up some information about an upcoming event that we have, and we hope that you'll attend. It's our 20th annual holiday supper, which is right around the corner here, Friday, November 30th from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. If you want to get tickets or get more information about that, please contact Peggy Rourke, 773-298-6441. And what makes it exciting is we've got some great honorees. For example, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, Thomas Goldrick, Beverly Bank and Trust, and Miss Christine O'Reilly from the Chicago White Sox. So we do hope you'll join us for that event. And thank you, Jerilynn, for being a guest.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. We're Beacon Therapeutic. Have a great night.